Donald Trump's lawyers are so desperate for any kind of actual legal defense against what he did with his attempts to overturn the 2020 election that they're now trying to argue in court filings that it was Russia. You know how Donald Trump has been going on and on and on for several years now, basically ever since he took office as president, that Democrats are pushing the Russia hoax, as Trump calls it. Well, now his lawyers are going into court literally pushing a Russia hoax. Trump's lawyers have argued in filings that because Russia hacked into a company associated with the government called SolarWinds, which for the record has nothing to do with elections, but because Russia did hack the US government, it stands to reason, they say, that Russia also could have hacked our election, which means Trump trying to find all the fraud was because of Russia. Now, if that makes no sense to you, don't worry. It doesn't make any sense. It's also not a valid legal argument because you're hoping something happened that you cannot prove happened. But don't worry, they've got that covered too, because his attorneys are also asking for documents from the federal government that they are not entitled to, nor do they have the clearance to actually look at these documents, that may prove that Russia interfered in the 2020 election, because that's totally a plausible thing. I mean, if you find Russian interference in the 2020 election, Trump lawyers, it's probably not going to be the kind of interference that you want the public to know about. You know, kind of like 2016, where there is no question that Russia interfered. The level of effectiveness that they had is what, we can argue about all day long. But did Russia interfere? Hell yeah, they interfered. And they probably did the same thing in 2022. But they didn't interfere to help President Biden. You think Vladimir Putin, after 4 years of Donald Trump kissing his ass, suddenly said, you know what? I think I like the Biden guy. Let's go with him. Let's do what we did in 2016, but in reverse this time, so that Trump doesn't win? I mean, Vladimir Putin has already come out and endorsed Donald Trump for president in 2024. You really think he would have had his government 4 years ago somehow rig the US election to make Trump not be president, to sit and think about what he did for 4 years? Like, no, it makes no sense. And that's how desperate Trump's lawyers are. They're literally going to the courts, crafting these idiotic court filings, making up new conspiracy theories because they have no actual, real legal defense for what their client did. And that should tell you everything you need to know about how these trials are going to play out when they finally begin. Ring of Fire is just a few subscribers short of hitting that 1 million subscriber milestone. So if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so and stay up to date with all of the latest from Ring of Fire.